Well, good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing today? Hope everyone's having a great day. I'd like to welcome you to the Creative HQ interview today with Harvey Hernandez, the owner and developer from New Guard. My name is Daniel De La Vega. I am the CEO of One Commercial, the sister company of One Sotheby's International Realty. And we are extremely proud to be representing one of Harvey's latest creations in the heart of downtown, Creative HQ, the office condo. We've worked with Harvey on several projects of his. One thing that I can tell you about Harvey Hernandez is that he's a visionary. He's a pioneer in everything that he does. He's always thinking ahead. He's light years ahead of everybody, really, in everything that he does, even from the sales and marketing approach and working with him as the sales and marketing company. He's always pushing us, pushing the envelope. And as I look at this office condo that he's developed, Creative HQ, which of course falls inside of Nativo, the residential component of the development, he's pushing the envelope when it comes to office. He's going to talk to you a lot about Nativo Social, his vision, and how it's all kind of coming together in a way that there's really no competition. We at One Commercial have represented quite a few office condos over the last 7 or 8 years in this cycle, actually, in this cycle after the downturn of 2008, 2009. And I've got to tell you, what he's creating here, the environment that's being created, the F&B he's got in mind. Again, I talked about Nativo Social. All that is something that it's not out there. So, we talked a little bit about competition and everything that's going on. And when you look at the office market in today's world, there's no competition. Not because that's a sales pitch for me. That's because when you really look at your comps, as we do as a sales and marketing company, there's nothing out there that's going to provide what this office condo Creative HQ is going to provide. So really excited to be representing New Guard again. Really excited to be representing this progressive office condo, and really excited to be with all of you here today during this crazy time. But I don't know about you guys. I've got to tell you, I've been really engaged through these go-to meetings and these Zoom meetings, and it's been a really great way to get people together. And this is a product that has been selling all over the world, and we're over 20% sold in 60 days, and we've had buyers from all over the place. So to be able to reach the world virtually and have this kind of communication with the developer is for me the way I want to continue to do things moving forward. I can only imagine the things that Harvey has in his mind for how he's going to operate virtually in the future. So with that, I want to kick this off, and Harvey, if it's cool with you, I'll get going with a broad question, but something that I think really resonates and is a testament to you and your vision with everything that you do. What was your vision for this? Why downtown, and why Creative HQ?
Yeah, thank you, Daniel, and thank you everyone for being here, taking a little bit of your time and during these crazy times, and participate and try to learn a little bit from us as to what makes Creative HQ so special. So, listen, Creative HQ is like every project that we create is almost created for ourselves. It's created to fill that void that we see in that particular market. Like in particular for Creative HQ is the office market, and within the office market, the creative office market. Why Creative HQ? Because we want to attract people in the arts, people that are in the creative industries, and those type of tenants, users, those type of people that are attracted and that are in those fields, they just don't have a space that is designed from the get-go to fulfill what they need to get their job done, to get the creative juices going. And that's one of the reasons why Creative HQ exists. In addition to that, why downtown? I don't see a better place to be in this city, right?
Yeah.
Our current offices are in downtown in another building that we developed. And that's where I'm sitting now today. And I look around and I don't see a better place. Accessibility is incredible. Energy is incredible. The fact that you can walk everywhere, the fact that you can just hop in the metro mover and 3 minutes, 5 minutes be somewhere exciting is great. And the fact that I can just hop in my car if I have to and just be in the freeway in a matter of a couple minutes is just unbelievable. On top of that, Creative HQ is meant to be a different type of place to work. It's meant to be not only a place to work, is a place to do what you love, right? And you know, I believe that especially now, people are gonna choose to work differently, and not only work differently, but work in different type of environments, and that's what we're trying to create.
Totally. So, you know, we came up we had a campaign, Inspiration Lives Here. So I think that resonates really well with your vision, right? You want people to be in a space that they're inspired, that's easy ingress, egress. And, you know, you talk about downtown, you talk about the Bright Line, you talk about the Metro Mover, but, you know, that's a huge component to the downtown location. You know, in Brickell, you can't really get in and get out like you could in downtown. And really, you know, now everybody's living more urban, and even the new developments that are being launched at $80 a square foot, triple net, by the way. I mean, these locations don't have views like a location in downtown is going to have. So, you know, you have you have the inspiration, right? You've got the location, you've got the public transportation, you've got the views, and you've got the amenities. I mean, those are 5 things that no other building really that I know of, right? When it comes to office,
we had the pricing, exactly. So
Class A office building is trading at, you know, $70, $80 a square foot for new products. So, you know, talk a little bit about the pricing, please.
Yeah, so listen, we wanted to create a product for everyone, and we have priced it in ways that that nobody can even come close to us. So if you want to own a creative office space for less than $600 a foot, it just doesn't exist. Not only that, the product that we're building is 100% finished, ready to be occupied. Doesn't exist for $600 a foot, right? So, and as a matter of fact, the idea, and with amenities, right? So we had this component within our building, and maybe I should step back a few, and because I like to talk about the whole environment that we had created in the building, right? So we have the Nativo product, which is unbelievable. Is really the first time that a residential product is truly flexible and created in a way that fulfills so many needs in the marketplace. And it's so successful, Daniel, that within the last 45 days, we have sold 20 units.
Wow.
During these crazy times. It just doesn't exist. No one discount, okay? So it isn't like we're giving the product away. It's just we price it really well, and that's why it's selling, because the product is amazing. But in addition to that, within the building, we created a private club that's called Nativo Social. So as you look at Miami, as you look at downtown Miami, whether it's Brickell, whether it's Edgewater, whether it's Biscayne Corridor, whether it's South Brickell, whether it's Wynwood or the Design District. What you notice is that Miami doesn't have private clubs or social clubs. And you wonder why.
Yeah.
Why is it that a city like ours do not have a place to congregate people, that to allow these powerful connections to happen, to allow these powerful interactions to come to reality? So anyway, so we said, okay, we're gonna take all our amenities, which is about 70,000 square feet, and we are going to create a product that is going to become the first ever true private social club in this city, and that is Nativo Social. So, so you have Nativo, which is incredible, the Nativo Hotel as well, the amenities, which is Nativo Social, and then Creative HQ. And the idea with this building is that we create almost a 24/7 cycle. So if you work in Creative HQ and you're able to have your meetings in Nativo Social because you have access to it as being a tenant or being an owner, and reserve space, or have a visitor stay at the Nativo Hotel, or have a place in Nativo residences, or have your coffee and your breakfast and your lunch in the restaurant in Nativo Social, or instead of work in your office, guess what? Maybe you want to work in our club. Maybe you want to have your meeting in our club instead of your conference room. So that's what we're trying to create. So the amenities like this, being able to buy an office, a creative office, and have a Nativo Social and a piece, I own a piece of a private club as an added bonus is just incredible. And that's why we're even moving our offices to Creative HQ, because we don't see a better place to work than Creative HQ.
I love it. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I go through downtown, and I take the Bright Line a lot to go up to our offices in Palm Beach, and when I get off the Bright Line and I either jump in an Uber or I park in the parking lot and I drive through downtown. I mean, downtown has such a bright future. I mean, it's like you're walking into, you know, what Manhattan has become. And I think, you know, we've seen a lot of that transition from the Northeast, right? We had the Great Migration because of all the tax reasons. And I think now with the pandemic, that's going to be compounded with people wanting to move. And I think what happened was in the Great Migration, it was people that were a little bit older, that were more established, that were either looking to retire here or move their companies here. And the people that needed to stay in Manhattan and work in Manhattan couldn't come, right? So this time around, I think we're going to see a lot of people that are going to be moving here, younger demographic that's going to be moving here and saying, listen, if I can work virtually and I can operate out of South Florida for that matter, but let's call it Miami, right, which is the hub of South Florida, I would love to live there and work there and have an office there. And this is a great opportunity for those people, because there's nothing better than owning your own office space, putting some great debt on it at very low interest rates and having it paid off in 10, 15, 20 years, depending on how aggressive you want to be. And also, I mean, when you look at the rents in the Brickell market now, this is a fact. I mean, some of these new buildings are trying to get $70, $80 a square foot. When you're selling for $600 a square foot, and you can still be aggressively competitive to what the market rates are with better amenities, better product, better location, better views, it's a great investment as well, whether you want to use it or not. And I mean, having those components as a user, I mean, that's remarkable. So I have a question for you. I think a lot of the confusion right now, and even me, as we're opening offices throughout the 6 or 7 counties that we operate in, I wonder what the future of office looks like. And, talk to us a little bit about your vision of the future of the office. I mean, I can tell you that I'm a believer that, once there's a vaccine, we're all going to go back and sort of use it exactly the way you envisioned it 6 months ago. And we're going to take precautions necessary to get there. But what's your view on the future of the real estate office, and include technology in that question?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And listen, there is no question that we are going to change. The consumer behavior and the user behavior of the office space is going to change. Okay, I think it has changed. Okay, and what we have learned is it's okay to have these meetings.
Yep.
It's okay to have these interactions. It's okay. It feels a lot more personable to have this than a teleconference. And not only it feels better, but it's a lot more acceptable. So what I think will happen is two things. One, people will always need an office because you need an office.
Yeah.
But instead of getting an office to accommodate everybody in your staff, you're probably gonna get a smaller office, right? And have the ability to house whoever wants to come to work, whoever wants to work physically 100% of the time at the office, or whoever wants to work 50% remotely, 50% local, 50% present, or whoever wants to come once in a while, twice a week, 3 times a week, and not deal with commute, not deal with lack of productivity or whatever, or be more flexible, accommodate to that. Is today I was listening to a report of many startups and many tech companies coming out with software that allows you also to monitor your employees that are working remotely, because that has always been kind of the issue, right? You want to make sure that everybody's producing and is being productive. So how you monitor that, how you assess that, how you measure that. So now with that technology in place, I think it will entice a lot more employers to allow the employees to be a little bit more remote. So to answer your question, I think the behavior is going to change. It has changed. The use of office will change, and our tenants will get smaller. Okay, our users will get smaller, but you always need an office.
Yeah.
Always. You need a presence. And what we had done is something very, very smart. So in Creative HQ, we have 127 units. Okay, our average size office is about 1,000 square feet, let's call it. And the beauty is that it's totally flexible, meaning you need 1,000, you can buy 1,000. You need 500, you can buy 500. You need 1,500, then you can buy a piece of the next office and combine it and just buy exactly what you're gonna use. In addition to that, as part of Nativo Social, we have this co-working area, which it has a ton of flex working space that any of our Creative HQ buyers and tenants can use if they need overflow space. Meaning, let's say that once a month you have your board meeting, twice a month you have your board meeting. Why pay to have in your office a huge conference room where you can just reserve the ballroom in Creative Social, in Nativo Social, in the workspace? It makes no sense, right? So those are the things that we have created, and created the type of environments that will allow the tenants to house more people and not necessarily have to pay for it. So, but then think about the other office solutions today. They don't allow for that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. When you go to an office building, the landlord comes and says, Mr. Tenant, what do you need? 3,000 square feet? Okay, here you go. Whether you use it or not, you're paying 3,000 square feet. Here, you don't have to buy 3,000 square feet. Just buy exactly what you're gonna use. And if you need more space, you can go to Nativo Social and reserve some of the workspaces that we have.
I love it.
So little things like that.
I love it. And, I think the pandemic has gotten us all to change the way we think a little bit. And I want to ask you if you've changed anything about the building, to reflect maybe, some of the requirements now for different people, whether it be short-term or long-term, but as you were talking, one of the things that came to mind, and it's a fresh thought considering the pandemic and this conversation with you is, if you think about your lifestyle prior to this pandemic, right? Some people would go to the office, then go to a different gym, then maybe use the shower in the gym, then use a different conference room for a boardroom, and then go to Soho House because they wanted a creative club so when you're here now, right, you get to do all those things in the same place. So for the most part, right, the people that are using it, it's the people that have been through the lobbies there, that have space there. There's just not a lot of turnaround, right? In the gym, there's new members all the time. At Soho, they're bringing friends, right? It's like this whole concept. But here, it's like this community of creators that are all sharing in this amazing amenity package that comes with the building. So that's a pretty cool concept, right? And have you made any changes for the people that are going security-wise and just things like that?
Yeah. So what we have done, so first of all, I think you're right. It's an ecosystem, right? It's the fact that you can come in early in the morning, go to the gym in Nativo Social, take a shower, go to your office, grab a great juice in the juice bar, get ready for your meeting, and maybe have lunch meeting in the restaurant, come back down, and then in the evening come and watch a talk or have a drink or meet your friends for happy hour, right? So that doesn't exist today. But in addition to that, things that we have changed and we have learned throughout this process the last few weeks. So we eliminated recently some design features and some finishes in the office space that I think will make a tremendous change, and it will be very beneficial if something like this happens again. For example, hard surfaces. We minimizing the use of carpets. I think carpets are a big issue because they are really, really hard to sanitize and clean. So we're eliminating the use of carpets, even the corridors, to a very minimum. In addition to that, inside all our offices are totally finished with a beautiful polished concrete finish. Super easy to clean, very super easy to sanitize. In addition to that, all our elevators are touchless, right? So with your app, you can come in and you don't have to, you don't even have to have a fob. You do everything with the app. In addition to that, we kind of be managing the actual cleaning services in the offices as well as a service. And one of the services that we're gonna have is weekly sanitation. Very, very, very important. I think it will be something that a lot of people will opt for. In addition to that, we have replaced our glazing, our windows in our offices so they can operate. If you go to any office building today, you cannot do that. You're stuck recirculating this air that you don't know where it's coming from, right? You're supposed to have X amount of percentage outside air, but if you want more, now you can open your window. So little things like that we have done, and I think even for our offices, that's gonna be our home when we're ready to deliver, right? So we want to make sure that our office is ready as it can be.
I love it. So I'm going to move and shift into some more like nuts and bolts kind of questions. And then everybody that's on the call, if you want to type in your questions as well in the question section, I'll make sure to pick out some ones that I think will be interesting for everybody to hear about. And I already have a couple here that I like. So thank you guys for sharing these questions with us. But Harvey, tell me about first, tell me if I'm a broker, right? And I'm looking to sell Creative HQ because I want to earn, my commission and talk to my buyers about this investment opportunity or the opportunity to own their own office space. And a lot of these programs, these government programs that are out now are also very progressive when it comes to you owning your own office. So I would encourage all of you to look into the SBA.gov loan programs for your clients that are out and in place, because it's a really huge advantage to be able to own the office space with these very aggressive more financing programs that are in place. So please check that out as you do that. But Harvey, if I'm a broker, what kind of client has been buying Creative HQ? We know it's the person who wants to be inspired. It's the creative. But what if, I have a great law firm that I send my business to and I want to shoot the idea by them? I mean, give me a little bit of the buyer profile that you're seeing.
Yeah. So what is great about Creative HQ is that is designed and has been created for whoever wants to work differently, right? Whoever wants to work in an environment that allows you to be a little bit more creative. And it doesn't matter whether you're an attorney, an architect, or an artist, or a fashion designer. We all want to be creative. Yep. Because nowadays, if you don't get creative,
you get left behind.
You're left behind. So whatever you are, if you're not creative, being an attorney and try to do a better job for your clients, guess what? Your client is going to find that attorney that is a little bit more creative than you. And if you're a banker, the same way. If you are a real estate broker, and we have some brokers that have bought offices in Creative HQ, you also want to bring your sales team, and you want to bring your clients to a very creative type of place. So, so who's buying? I think the demographic is actually very diverse. You have the brokers that even want to buy for themselves. You have users, people that want to buy for themselves. You have investors that are looking at the office space and say, wow, rents are going to be for $80 or $90 a foot in the same CBD, right? Whether you're in Brickell or downtown. I'm buying for $600 a foot. They just have to do the math, right? Yeah. And when they know that every office is 100% finished, that is tenant ready, as soon as the product is ready and they close, they can bring a tenant. That's a huge win, right? So it makes also for a great investment. Who else? We have had, so ourselves, we're buying our own space. Our partner is also buying a space because they want to have a satellite office there. Who else? We have Nativo Miami buyers that said, okay, love the residential product. I think it's a winner. And also I want to buy in the office product because the interaction is so much better for management and everything else perspective. So we have some of that as well.
That's great. So if I love the concept of creative, because like you said, you always have to be creative. It doesn't really matter what industry you're in. You always have to be thinking ahead and progressive. So, I mean, for the brokers on the call, I would really encourage you to reach out to your clients just like like a lot of what we're doing, right, at One Commercial and at Sotheby's is we're taking this opportunity to reach out. And sometimes you don't have really a lot to reach out about, or you know, find that you maybe reached out recently and they're not interested in selling or they're not interested in buying. Well, this is a very creative way to reach out and just say, oh, by the way, you know, my company is now representing this really great office condo, and you know, we have the beautiful rack brochure that you could share with them, branded, unbranded, whatever it is that you need, and say, this could be an alternative investment for you in this environment, and or this could be something that, you know, you may want for your own personal use. So thinking outside of the box and letting the leader, Harvey, who's got this vision, just follow in his lead and think creative and do something that maybe you wouldn't have done because you haven't thought about office condo in the past. Some of our most successful developments that we've represented have been office condo, and the demand, I would say, is it fair to say, Harvey, that the demand primarily has been in Latin America, then it shifted domestically, and now domestically I say South Florida, and then now we're seeing other states start to get involved. And I really do think this whole Northeast movement, and as people come down, they're going to want to find more space. Has that been like the demographic for the most part?
That has been the demographic, and I think it's a matter of also time. As we get ready to break ground later this year, you will see then the local demand and the national demand get greater, right? Because they see completion happening at a certain time. Right now, I also will add to what you said. Anybody that is watching this webinar, which is a great way. Hopefully, we're recording this, right? Because it's a great way to have a deep insight as to the reason why we created the product, right? And I think there isn't a better way to sell out there than having that level of insight, than having the developer or the owner telling you why the product exists, right? Because at the end of the day, I think now more than ever, you have to explain to buyers the purpose. They need to believe in that purpose and the why. Why is it that this is a great investment? Why is it that you think you would do better? Not because of pricing only. It's just because we have eliminated every single excuse that any potential office user will have with Creative HQ. That's it.
Love it.
And so in addition to that, if anybody's watching this and would like to get a piece of Creative HQ and would like to get any help as to payment terms or whatever, we're happy to accommodate you, right? We want to have as many brokers as part of the Creative HQ family, because I think it will be a great place to work.
I could not agree more. Tell me a little bit about, so you've got, you know, we talked a little bit about Latin America, and I think what we've seen in Brickell and now a little bit in downtown is the investor is buying condos, right? The one-off investor is buying condos. I know why Nativo's been so successful, because there's not a lot of rental restrictions and you've got your great brands behind it, and the software that you have behind that as well, hosting and Nido and all that. That's remarkable. So if you're going to buy a condo, buy it there if that's what you're looking for, right? But why taking Nativo and putting it in a category of its own, because it is, why buy an office condo instead of a condo in Brickell, in whatever building it may be that's out there?
I think it's simple, right? You buy this product because you don't want to buy the same thing that exists everywhere, right? So you want to buy something that is different. You want to buy something that is a different set of investment that allows you to monetize something that doesn't exist in the marketplace. And that's the reason why we created also Nativo, because we don't compete with anyone in Nativo,
Yeah.
right? Nativo is created to be 100% flexible, 100% furnished, and ready to go for a price that is second to none. Try to find that product in this marketplace, just doesn't exist. And then you add technology, you add Nativo Social, and everything else is just in another level beyond what it is today. And the same thing with Creative HQ. The good thing with Creative HQ is that, first of all, the price is remarkable. Second of all, the fact that you can monetize it immediately, is remarkable. The fact that you can buy into the social club aspect at the same price, no additional cost, is incredible. So, and the fact that this is just not a condo investment. This is an investment that is a little bit different. Is when you sign, for example, a lease with a tenant, is typically a multi-year lease, right? Whether it's a 3-year, 4-year lease, it's and it's not a 1-year lease that you do in a typical condo. That's also different. A lot less turnover. Companies tend to pay you rent always like a clock. So that's another benefit. So anyway, there's just many benefits out there, and the fact that the product is so unique, I think will do very, very well, whether you are the owner or just bought it for investment and now you want to find a tenant.
Yeah. So sales, excuse me. Ivan Ramirez. He's the sales director for Creative HQ. Yeah. He does a remarkable job. He unfortunately had a death in his family, so he couldn't join us today, but he is going to do a presentation next week about how to sell office space. I think that it's important for all the brokers that are on this call to jump on that and really get a lot of guidance from him. He's got a lot of experience in selling office condo. And as somebody that's been in the business for 15 plus years and 11 of those owning my own office, I look back on that first year and I wish that I would have bought all of the offices that I'm in now. I'd be looking back and just be jumping in joy. And sometimes you don't make those decisions for whatever reason, and you look back and you say, why didn't I do it? So when we as brokers go out to our clients, we want to add value. And selling office condo is a way to add value to your client. It really is. And if you push them, they're going to be really, really grateful that you push them 5, 6, 7, 10 years down the road. And it's going to make you look really, really good. Sometimes other products, single family homes, condos for that matter, they fluctuate. I think what's nice about the office condo market is that it's fairly consistent, right? Yeah. It follows the office market. And the office market, if you look at the occupancy rates in Brickell, they're over 95%. I mean, there's a shortage, right? And that's why prices have skyrocketed in 1450 and 830 and all these buildings, the Wells Fargo, they're all
something else too. Yeah, something else too. So the average tenant today in this market is very, very small.
Yeah.
Very small tenant. So, and these big office buildings, they have bigger space than what the tenants need. So that's one of the reasons why our spaces are small, because the average tenant requires a small space.
And here's the other investment strategy. Like when a developer, I'm sure you've done this 1,000 times, Harvey, when you buy a piece of property, and let's say it's a piece of property that's unentitled, and you buy the vacant lot and it's 10 acres, and you do 1 acre properties on those 10 acres and you sell them off, you make a profit doing that, right? Now with this, you can buy a bigger space, let's say, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000 square feet, and you break it up into smaller bays, and you could sell them, you could rent them, and you create a lot of value in doing that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what we have learned too, the smaller the office, the more it rents per square feet.
Exactly, yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because the small tenant, first of all, has no option, number one. Two, the small tenant is not looking at price per foot. It's looking at absolute price. I want to pay $2,000 a month. Doesn't matter if it's 70, $100 a foot, whatever it is, right? And it's typically on those numbers. Why? Because that's all they need. They need an office space that provides them a cool space to work and have a presence in the city or have a presence on that particular location, and they want to spend $2,000. So that's it. That's Creative HQ.
You know,
Because
it's great. Listen, and in our business, I always like to say a referral is the biggest compliment that you can get. I mean, it really is, because somebody is saying something really great about you. That means you did a really good job at some point. And that's why I always tell our people, get your testimonials out, get them out, get them out, get them out. There's nothing better than a testimonial. I've got a testimonial for us right now. So I can attest, this is somebody on our chat, I can attest that I've invested in one Flagler 4 years ago, and it's been a great investment. I've had tenants the whole time. That's another office condo that was done by Harvey and Newgard, which is spectacular.
Well,
Also,
that's what we are now. That's what we are now. We retain the penthouse floor, and that's where we are. We come to this building every day, and we love it.
I love it. I love going there, and it's a great space. Harvey, I think a lot of people have heard through the press, right? A lot of what's happened with WeWork. We're not comparing ourselves to WeWork. We're better. We're more solid financially, more creative, everything. But explain a little bit about, like, I think somebody would say, well, how is this different from WeWork, right? Like, what is WeWork? What is Creative HQ? What are the differences?
Totally different. Yeah, totally different. So WeWork
that's a question by Elena, one of the people participating today.
Okay. Yes, Elena. Thank you for the question. So WeWork is basically a company that comes in and takes the whole building and basically does what Daniel just described, subdivides the whole building into little spaces and then subleases little spaces or subleases a desk or subleases a membership or gives you a membership to use the office space. And they come in and they pay, $40 a foot to the owner of the building, and then they are able to charge Daniel for a little cubicle $100 a foot and make the difference. So that's what WeWork does. What we do is very different. We sell you great space, ready to be used for a great price. That's it. And then the owner or the buyer can do whatever they want. They can do their own WeWork. They can buy. We have potential buyers now talking to us the possibility of buying a quarter floor, half a floor, and then subdivide it and create their own operation and compete with WeWork in a better environment. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question.
It does. It does. I think since we have a great audience in this meeting, can you touch a little bit on the condo component? I think it's important because sometimes you sell the office and then they want a condo, and sometimes you sell the condo and then they want an office, and they want to be part of the entire ecosystem, mostly as an end user, right? Or even as an investor. So I think it's important you touch on the condo a little bit quickly. The residential condo, of course.
Yeah. So Nativo is our residential condo, and it's really the first time that a product that is purposely designed, built, and licensed for short-term rentals is created, right? So that's what Nativo is. Completely flexible. You can buy it, you can use it 100% of the time. You can leave it 100% of the time. You can use it 1 month out of the year and monetize it the additional 11 months. You can put it in the Nativo management and have that condo produce great revenue for you, the owner. We sell the product 100% furnished and finished, down to the silverware in the kitchen. So it's the type of product that doesn't exist today. And great technology as well. We created a Nativo app that basically allows owners that put their property in the Nativo management program to be anywhere in the world, know in real time what's happening with your unit. How much money are you producing? How many nights you have booked? How your calendar is, how open or how booked it is. Block it so that you can use it because you're coming to Miami next week and you would like to stay in your place. Little things like that. So very, very successful. We're about 60% sold in less than 8 months. Like I said, we have sold more than 20 units in the last 45 days. And it's a really a testament of what we have created. Is really, really, really great. And if anybody has an inquiry or a client for that product, contact Daniel or anybody in One Sotheby's. We're happy to accommodate you.
That's great. That's great. I'm looking here to see if we have any more questions really quickly. Oh, I got the WeWork question twice. That's interesting. So Harvey, the sales center and the opening of the sales center, I know that the virtual component is great. We have Ivan, Natalia, Liz, the entire team, Corinne, who's running marketing for us on the project, that can get you any information that you want. We can do a virtual presentation. It's funny, I was talking to one of our top teams in Vero Beach yesterday, and they were saying, you know, it's actually easier to do a listing presentation virtually because we can screen share. I can show you all these different pictures and comps and this and that, and it's great. So we're completely ready to do that for you, for your clients, whatever you need, it is you need. But tell us about the sales center, because there is that, you know, experience, and you especially, not because you're on the phone with me, but you do a remarkable job in your sales center. I mean, I remember the Gale in Fort Lauderdale, amongst so many others. You know, the experience is wow, right? And that person-to-person wow factor, you don't get it sometimes virtually. So when can we expect to be open so that people can get in there?
So as you can imagine, this whole pandemic has delayed us on the sales center aspect. We couldn't work. We couldn't even negotiate the space. The owner of the space was badly affected with the pandemic. It seems that now the next 90 days we should have a sales center that we can show, and we can provide that experience for our prospective buyers. But the great news is that we open our Nativo sales center in the same building. Right?
Yeah, no.
The Creative HQ is going to be, and it's beautiful. So if you want to get a feel for what Creative HQ is going to be, pass by the Nativo Miami Sales Center. Is the scale model is there, and it will provide it will give you that and your clients that insight as to what Creative HQ is going to be. In addition to that, you can go to creativehqmiami.com, which has great information about Creative HQ, but more than the sales center, and we have, by the way, the sales team operating out of our corporate offices here in One Flagler, and we have a great space here with a lot of collateral. But if you have a client that they will not buy until they see a sales center, they're gonna have to wait 90 days and maybe 120 days, and hopefully we'll have product at that time.
No, yeah, exactly. There's no waiting. I mean, I think, you know, when I asked the question, I thought a lot about Nativo actually, because I know it's been open and it's beautiful, so that's a great reference as to like the
Yeah.
ecosystem and as you referenced. So I think it's a really great experience to be there, and virtually we can create a remarkable experience for everybody as well. Tell me a little bit about the HOA. That's a question that somebody had here. What is the HOA maintenance costs with the Creative HQ?
Yeah, I don't have the numbers on top of me, but I believe is around 60 cents or less, uh, which is very, very in line what anybody else charges. So, and that's
Especially
what
for the
Creative HQ.
amenities that you're getting.
Absolutely. The amenities are key, right? And the beautiful thing is because we are able to bring outside members to these amenities, to the private club, those outside members pay for a lot of the cost of the club. So that is one of the reasons why our maintenance fee is lower than what it should be.
So you're thinking like a Soho House vibe, right? Kind of, but like
Yeah.
maybe like a little bit more of an office sort of feel.
Yeah.
Is that?
We will have renderings in less than a week.
That's
It's
great.
incredible. It's really incredible.
Yeah.
Soho House does an incredible job. It's just that if you want to be on this side of the city, there isn't going to be anything better than this.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's really nothing. Remember
Yeah.
the cigar club that they used to have at the rooftop of the, I think it was the one, I forgot what building.
One financial building or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. And that wasn't that great, but that wasn't that great. And it was great. And it was great.
Yeah, exactly. So I see
the only thing. Yeah.
I see this being really, really great. So one last question, and then I have my final question for you. Would Nativo Management Service be available to office investors as well?
We can. We'll have a management service for the office owners. It's not going to be Nativo Management, but it will be part of the same team. Yeah.
Got it. All right. So I'd like to end with this because a lot of what we sell is a reflection of the developer, and I'll end where I started, right? I mean, you've always been a visionary. You've always been ahead of the game. You've always been, techie and creative. And what is Newgard's future look like within this space? I know you've got projects all over the country. You've got some stuff in Austin. Give us the big picture vision for Newgard.
So listen, we at Newgard are focused on what's next always. And I'm a firm believer, and all of us here as well, that the future is not always apparent. The future is not always well defined. You have to create it. And sometimes, you create certain things and you go too far, and you learn from those mistakes. But most of the time, a new creation is all positive, and we believe that we have changed the way that people do things in every deal that we do and every product that we do. So the future for us is to continue to do that. Future for us is to continue to grow the Nativo brand and the Creative HQ brand, for that matter, as well as Mito and other brands that we're working on, different aspects of real estate. We believe that having different locations in different cities and being able to provide for our buyers and our owners an ecosystem that they can be part of is the future. I think people want to own a piece of something.
Yeah.
Right? It's not only an asset, it's a piece of something. And that's what we're looking to create and deliver to our buyers.
That's great, Harvey. And I've got to tell you, we at One Commercial, at One Sotheby's, we're extremely proud to be representing you. We stand behind you. We know that this building's going to get delivered groundbreak by the end of this year. You know, you've got your different phases of buyers. Some of them like to buy pre-construction. Some of them like to see the groundbreak. I'm very confident in you guys and your partners. Very proud. I know I speak on behalf of our entire team, Ivan, Natalia, Liz, everybody else that's part of this very progressive project that, you know, we're very excited. We've been excited since you first talked to us about it. And
thank you. And I have to say that for us, it's a privilege to have you and the whole One Commercial team working on this. And the way that you guys approach the whole process is second to none. And so I think it's a great partnership, great partnership, and look forward to completion. And
it's going to be great, and it's going to be fast. So
absolutely.
Thank you all so much for being on this call. Like I said, whatever you need, please. My email's online, Harvey's email's online, Newgard.com, right?
NewgardGroup.com.
NewgardGroup.com, but our whole team's here. Ivan, Natalia, Corinne, Liz, we're here to support you. Please bring our clients to you. We do a really great job of presenting to them, and have a great rest of your week. And thank you for sharing in this hour with us. We finished.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.